from the Hexis team, but Thomas Enger has come out ahead of Enrique Bernoldi. Now, that is the effective battle for the lead, but of course it's not the lead right now because we're waiting for some of the other cars to make their pit stops. But that was a crucial pit stop for the Aston Martin.
And both drivers right on the limit as they exit that very long and sinuous pit lane exit coming onto the back straight into turn 4.
Delight down there in the young driver camp. There'll be disappointment at Vitaphone, but what a close run thing it was. Thomas Enger had to fight his way around the Aston Martin parked in front of him, but he did it and he's got out ahead. Now the question is, John, which of these two cars is going to go the remaining over half an hour on these tyres? Look at this release again.
And again, watch it, the engineer with those two wheels down from one of the other Aston Martins. So lucky not to get clipped. He had to make evasive action. Look, opposite lock in the pit lane, on the speed lane pit. And a great job done by Darren Turner to keep that car in such close contact with the lead Maserati.
Now we're riding on board the Corvette. Mark Henrici has now taken over this car. He's battling with one of his big rivals, and look at the speed advantage the Corvette's got up the straight. The Maserati carrying the ballast, the number one car has no answer, and the Corvette dives up the inside. There was a display of how if you've got a more lead ballast on board, thanks to your success earlier in the season, you can't live with the powerful Corvette up that hill.
No, and again, the brutish power of a V8 torque just gives it the ability to drag. It's like a winch is attached, and it's just pulling the car up the hill, whereas the Maserati is singing the most glorious song with the V12 engine, but it just doesn't have the grunt, partly because of the weight, partly because of the regulations.
Meanwhile, coming across the line, Peter Cox, and you've got the two Mark VDS cars going wheel to wheel here, and there's Bas Linder's car in the hands of Max Martin now it is, and he gets past his teammate, so he makes the move there quite comfortably in the end, and Marcus Paltala and Matteo Bobby losing out as a result of that, but no problems for them. I'm sure they'll keep it clean. They're chasing, as I say, Peter Cox in the Lamborghini, the Blancpain car, which has made good ground since the start of this race. Remember, they had a three-place grid penalty, and they made good ground here.
Interesting that the Bas Linder's car, that has now got the fastest race lap. That's the reason why he overtook his teammate.
So a good effort from the Ford. Maxime Martin is driving very well. They probably had a brand new set of tyres to use after the pit stop, and he's making full use of those right now. A nice little slide around that infield right-hander before they start the third sector. Just coming up now, got this last little bit, the Duck's Peak, the Pico de Pato, and then heading down through Mergulo and towards Juncal and onto that big climb up the hill. Still carrying good speed, Maxime Martin, but can he find a way to move another place and get past Peter Cox? That's his target, the Lamborghini, next up on the road. So there's Thomas Enger, he leads the race. Darren Turner started this car, did a great stint. Let's hear from him, he's talking to Haley.
Darren, it was a fantastic start by yourself and a great pit stop by the team. Can Thomas hold on to his position?
Yeah, I hope so. It looks like Enrique's got a little bit more pace just in the last few laps of looking at the times. It may be closing in a few tenths, but I think, you know, Thomas is a good racer, so I don't think there's going to be a way past unless suddenly we have a big drop-off in tyre performance. The guys did a fantastic stop. I made sure I closed up as much as I could into the pit lane and right on the bumper of the Maserati, and you know, the guys turned it around and gave us a 2-second lead. So Stefan and Marcus, great pit stop, and Johannes did a good job with engineering the car, because I've had a really bad run up until the race with a lot of mistakes and not feeling comfortable with the car, and they've changed it and it's great to drive, so really happy. But the main thing is we're in a good position for tomorrow's race.
Thank you, Darren.
And we've just seen a superb move by Peter Dumbreck sweeping around the outside of the Senna S. Good stuff, John.
Yeah, he did more speed down the pit straight. He went the brave way around the outside of the Lamborghini. Both gave each other enough room. Lamborghini tried to come back into the second part of the Senna S's, but Peter Dumbreck had sufficient position, track position, to consolidate now on the potential podium position in that third position in the Nissan.
So yeah, third spot for Peter Dumbreck in the Nissan, fourth now for the Lamborghini of Dominic Schwager, and behind them you've got to watch out a little bit because Clivio Piccioni's not far behind.
No, he's closed up to this battle for third place. Well, they've been working themselves into a lather. Clivio Piccioni is just slowly caught up to the tail of this, and now it's the Lamborghini, Dominic Schwager, who's going to feel the pressure of another Aston Martin here this afternoon.
So the dreaded loss of performance later in the race is something we've really got to be careful of on board that Aston Martin, as Clivio also now sees that this Lamborghini could be beginning to struggle. So what can he do? This left-hander is so crucial, because where you get on the power there determines your speed all the way up the start-finish straight. And exciting moments as we keep an eye on this battle as they come up the hill here. Has that Aston got anything to offer the Lamborghini as they come up to cross the line? He's certainly getting close.
Yes, he is. He's going to have a little look. He may go one way, which is going to be, he's got to go to the right. The Lamborghini's taking the inside line. It's got the speed. Will he get away with the same kind of act that the Nissan did 1 or 2 laps earlier? Round the outside, Schwager is alongside into the second part of the Senna S's, but he has to concede to the Aston Martin. Fabio Piccioni, another copy but overtake into the Senna turn.
Let me just tell you, into the pits. I've just seen on our timing that second place Enrique Bernoldi's in the pits. For some reason, which I don't know why, Bernoldi has come into the pits from second place in the number 2 Vitaphone. We gather it's a drive-through penalty for throwing a tyre. One of the mechanics threw the tyre in the pit stop. You've got to pick the tyres up and carry them, and apparently one of the tyres was thrown, and that's why Bernoldi has had a drive-through penalty.
Well, that is a very, very bitter pill indeed for Enrique Bernoldi and the Vitaphone Maserati team in second place. Strong points for that particular driver combination, Sandy Negral and Enrique Bernoldi, and now he's fallen back behind, I think, Nicky Pastorelli, so he'll be back in, will it be 5th place, Pastorelli up to 4th.
Yeah, and it means that Peter Dumbreck in the Sumo Power Nissan will come into second place, and the podium, final podium slot, will be heading the way of another Aston Martin, Clivio Piccioni in the Hexis car. Well, it's exciting stuff. Let's go and hear from the man who was in that car earlier, Sandy Negral.
Zandy, can you confirm why the penalty was issued?
It was written that we throw the tire, so actually I'm not sure if what the mechanic have done. I know that was a shame because we lost a position on the pit stop, so it's not that we get any advantage. So we lost a position and we still got the penalty. So we are lucky that we made a gap in the beginning of the race. So Enrique now is trying to go to the 4th position, so let's see if he can do it.
Thank you.
Up the inside, up into Juncal. Can he get it done? Side by side into the corner.
Lovely job. Perfect by Bernoldi, and he's done it where he needed to, because he knew it was going to be hard on the main straight, but he's used a superior grip of the Maserati to throw it up the inside. Beautifully judged manoeuvre, and nothing really that Dominic Schwager could do about it.
He's got a little bit of extra speed, but no, he can't get it done. He was compromised on the exit by the Maserati.
This is a replay of the pit stop. Now, watch for the tyre being thrown, and it's one of the front tyres that actually gets thrown. I think it's the second one when they get to change it. So they go to the first one, get that one done. The offside front is changed, gets the tyre nut done up, runs round to the near side.
So they threw the tyre, he got the tyre, and he threw it literally before he was, so the right front was thrown into the pit box, and I mean a very minor infringement, but those are the rules and regulations. Applies to everybody. Obviously, clearly disappointing to Enrique Bernoldi and Sandy Negral, 2 local boys from Sao Paulo.
And that Ford's hit the barrier hard.
Yes, it has. Right, left rear of the car, and he's grabbing his way to a failure. It's a rear suspension failure on that Ford. And is that the one that was tagged on the rear? And a high-speed spin and a visit, heavy contact, left front, left rear. Rear wing bounces off the car. So we're not going to see a safety car surely at this stage of the race. You can see the car completely out of control. Heavy impact. Over 100 miles an hour, no doubt, hitting the barrier.
Matteo Bobby in the car, keeping it onto the grass, trying to stay out of everyone. That was the accident of real speed and the noise as well. And that was frightening stuff. Something definitely braking on the car.
Yeah, that was either a suspension or maybe a drive shaft, but something in the rear of the car let go, and the pilot just completely a passenger. And the inevitable.
But it's Aston Martin that have certainly been the car to beat here. And they've had one qualifying race victory already this year. They're going to come through to make it a second one, and more importantly, they'll take pole position for the championship race on Sunday. Thomas Enger and Darren Turner take victory here at Interlagos in the qualifying race after a beautifully judged drive, which was helped by teamwork from the guys in the pits to get them out ahead of the Maserati.
That was a professional job from a professional team, and they've got the rewards. Superb victory for Enger and Turner, but Aston Martin.
let's confirm those results then. The young drive Aston of Engert and Turner beating Dumbreck and Krum in their Nissan. Another Aston of Piccioni and Hershey. The Maserati of Benoldi and Negrao fourth, ahead of the Lamborghini of Schwager and Pastorelli and the Corvette of Henrici. First Ford home was Neil Yarni's in 7th, but Bertolini and Bartels did a lot of work there to finish in 8th place, having started right down and 19th.
Thomas, congratulations. Did you expect to get this result in the qualifying race?
Yes. No, for sure not. I'm really excited. It's really hot. Car was awesome. The whole race perfect. Darren did a great start, great stint, pushing the Maserati, and our crew. Obviously, you could see it on the TV that we just got in the first place because of Aston Martin, young driver Aston Martin Racing. So we are very happy. Thanks, Darren. Thanks for the start.
Good job.
And yeah, we're looking forward to tomorrow, definitely.
Congratulations, Darren. You've definitely got the setup right now.
Yeah, it looks that way. I mean, it was really good, really easy to drive, and you know, it looked like it was good on the tyres for the whole race. So, yeah, fingers crossed tomorrow it'll be just the same.
Cheers, guys.
Well, just as a warning to everybody else, the only other time they've won a qualifying race this year was at the Nürburgring, and they did go on to win the championship race.